Article 27 is the saving clause. And I will just read from the first section. In the event that any article, section, or portion of this agreement is found to be invalid, or shall have the effect of loss to the Commonwealth of funds made available through federal law, rule, or regulation, then such specific portion shall be amended to the extent necessary. And then it goes on, the remainder of the CBA shall continue in full force and effect. So fundamentally, if there's a error made in the contract, or things such as federal funding change, and the Commonwealth is on the hook for paying more money than they're able to pay, that will be corrected, and but the rest of the contract remains in force. So let me turn things over to David to chime in on this.
Okay. The Commonwealth is financed not only on state money, but also a considerable amount of federal money. This federal money is contingent upon federal rules and regulations. There are strings attached to the federal money. Consequently, employees may be subject to background checks, fingerprinting, certifications, or competency with certain equipment that go beyond the language of the collective bargaining agreement. Employees may be required to fill out forms documenting how much time is devoted to federal activities and how much time is spent on state activities, so that federal and state money can be allocated for that employee's work. Employees are expected to cooperate in these requirements. In my 40 years as a state manager, I have never seen a case where the collective bargaining language had to be modified in order to meet compliance with federal regulations, because federal money would be lost. It is important to note also that whether your funding is federal or state, that does not affect your collective bargaining rights in any way. It does not affect your layoff and bumping rights. Source of funding is irrelevant, but the savings clause does say that if federal funding is in jeopardy, that the collective bargaining agreement may be modified.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard?
This is an interesting article from the union standpoint. I have to say we don't have to consider it very often, but there are certain situations where it might come up and we would need to deal with it. In one example that David Young raised was, say your position or the program you work in suddenly is the recipient of federal money, and you have to be subject to, all of a sudden, to a background check, a new background check. That is something that might be of concern to some of our members who might not want to have to undergo a background check. And if that does come up, we would suggest that you give the union office a call so we can figure out how to deal with it, engage, if we need to, and engage in impact bargaining with the Commonwealth to alleviate any concerns that the members might have.
Thank you, Richard.